Good evening, everyone. Welcome to California Today. I'm David Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's top stories. Meta just launched a new social media app. People are calling it a Twitter lookalike. And Twitter is reportedly threatening to sue. Tired of sitting in traffic? Well, we may soon fly above it all. A California-based company is building a flying car that just received FAA approval for limited test trials. A new social media app called Threads has just launched. It's created by Meta, formerly known as Facebook. People are saying it's a lookalike and can be an alternative to Twitter. Here's more.
Threads, the latest social media app to rival Twitter, has officially launched on July 5th. It was created by Meta's Instagram team. While Threads launched as a standalone app, users can log in with Instagram credentials and follow the same accounts, potentially making it coincide with Instagram's over 2 billion monthly active users.
That they've got a user base instantly, whereas all other competitors needed to start from scratch. It's also taking in a lot of experience that comes from Meta. They are the leaders in terms of targeted advertising, and that will be applied here.
It has similar features to Twitter. People can post, like, and repost other content, but unlike Twitter, it doesn't utilize hashtags. According to Instagram, users can log in with their Instagram account, and posts can be up to 500 characters long and include links, photos, and videos up to 5 minutes in length. A social media analyst believes it'll appeal to a different audience.
So I'm not saying it will kill Twitter, but it will definitely become a viable alternative because of that instant user base and the way they approach it.
The Meta CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, said Threads gained 10 million signups within 7 hours. One caveat people pointed out was that while Threads users can deactivate their account, they cannot delete their Threads account without deleting their Instagram account, causing public backlash over the requirement. The launch came while Twitter said they are temporarily limiting the number of posts that users can see per day. Twitter's chief technology officer, Elon Musk, said that they were addressing extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation. So verified Twitter accounts were initially limited to reading 6,000 posts per day, while unverified accounts were limited to the hundreds. These numbers have increased since then. Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk have traded barbs for months and challenging each other to a real-life MMA cage fight in Las Vegas. The Instagram team said they are working on Threads to, quote, soon being compatible with the open, interoperable social networks.
And Twitter is now reportedly threatening to sue Meta. According to a report by Semaphore, Twitter's lawyer accuses Meta for engaging in, quote, systemic, willful, and unlawful misappropriation of Twitter's trade secrets and other intellectual property. The lawyer alleges Meta hired dozens of former Twitter employees, but a Meta spokesperson says no one on Threads' engineering team is a former Twitter employee. Also in the tech world, flying cars. It's not just a science fiction anymore. A company in California is making a flying car that was just approved by the FAA to do testing in specific areas. While the approval is very limited, the company's CEO says it's the first time a flying car has just achieved this kind of certification. NTD's Jason Blair has more.
Calif Aeronautics is building what they say is the world's first real flying car. It can drive on the street just like any other car, except it has the added ability to fly you to your destination.
It has an ability to vertically take off and two ways of flying forward, the simple way and what we call a biplane way.
Just recently, the company received certification by the FAA to fly in limited areas, the first approval of its kind for a flying car. The car is all electric, is projected to have a 200-mile driving range and a 110-mile flight range. The price is $300,000 with production set to start in 2025. One of the issues the company is looking to solve with its cars is long-term traffic problems.
One of the simple solutions, and this is why people wanted flying cars, is actually put it in the air, and there you have what is called highway in the sky. They can expand and contract as you need to.
Ducogny said that early on, safety was a primary concern, and most of their decisions were driven by safety.
The design itself should be safer than existing helicopters, existing airplanes, and on the ground, in many cases, safer than cars.
Along with their Model A, which is available now for pre-order, Calif is also working to create a four-person sedan. The Model Z sedan is scheduled for introduction in 2035 and to be priced at $35,000. It will have an over 300-mile flying range and a driving range of over 220 miles. Jason Blair, Entity News, California.
A sheriff from Los Angeles County calls a recently released body cam video disturbing. He called a deputy tackling a woman after she filmed her husband getting handcuffed. The sheriff's department said it came after they matched the descriptions of robbers at a grocery store. And just as a warning to viewers, the video can be disturbing.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff says video footage of a deputy violently throwing a woman to the ground while she filmed her husband being handcuffed in a grocery store parking lot is disturbing. The video shows the man sitting on a large rock outside the store and holding a cake before deputies handcuffed him as his wife stands a few feet away filming the encounter. One deputy is seen tackling the woman to the ground and pepper spraying her.
I can't breathe. I didn't do nothing.
The June 24th incident in Lancaster, north of Los Angeles, is the latest to draw scrutiny over how the department's deputies use force. Community groups planned a protest on Wednesday demanding that the officers be held accountable. The couple, whose names were not released, reportedly matched the descriptions of robbers targeting a grocery store in Lancaster. Late Monday, the sheriff's department said both officers were pulled off field duties. The bystander's cell phone video spread on social media. In a statement, the sheriff's office said an objective review of the incident will be conducted to determine if the force used was reasonable, necessary, appropriate, and proportional to the level of actions described. Tom Yu, an attorney for the deputy, said the suspects allegedly threatened store employees. Yu told ABC 7 News there's a narrative of saying the deputies struck her down because she was recording. She's not an innocent bystander. She's involved. She's detained in this robbery investigation. The sheriff's department did not release the deputies' names or other details, such as whether the couple was cited.
This past holiday weekend, drivers in California were not the only ones feeling pain at the pump. Another West Coast state can now claim the dubious honor of having America's highest gas prices. I spoke with some locals to get their reactions. California's annual gas tax increase kicked in on July 1st, meaning the nation's highest gas tax will increase by 4 cents, making the tax a total of 58 cents a gallon.
It's hard. I don't know what else to say. It's ridiculous.
Oh, too much expensive.
Every year it seems to get worse and worse, and it just seems like we can never get out from underneath the gas prices,
While gas prices are still high in California, it's no longer the highest in the nation. Instead, drivers in Washington state are celebrating the start of summer with that title, America's Most Expensive Gas Prices, a title held by California 95% of the time in the last 18 years. According to the latest numbers from AAA, Washington's average gas price sits at $4.97, which is about 13 cents higher than California's $4.84 average. Even though Washington has the highest average price, gas stations near major California cities are still charging heavily. 8 of the top 10 metro areas in America with the highest price at the pump are located in California, according to AAA.
But I know I can't take it personal because everything is high.
Basically I'm a single guy, and I can barely make it because of the gas prices. That's part of it, and the grocery prices, but a lot of it has to do with gas.
Still, some drivers in Washington are paying well over $5 a gallon. In King County, where Seattle is located, the average for regular gas is $5.09 a gallon, according to AAA. Washington's Skamania County averages $5.32 a gallon. The good news is that Americans are paying a lot less for gas than the first day of summer last year, even in Washington, where the average was $5.54 a gallon a year ago. Nationally, the average price for regular gas is $3.58 a gallon, down $1.39 from this point last year. We'll now take a short break, everyone, but here's what we have for you when we come back. Is Hollywood leaving California also? A slew of Hollywood stars and studios have ditched California and moved their families and filming elsewhere in the U.S. The industry insiders shared insights into why this is happening. Those stories and more coming up on California Today. Welcome back to California Today, everybody. I'm your host, David Zhang. The California exodus is also impacting Hollywood. A union director explains what's happening to the film industry and why it is also leaving California.
There is a domino effect when people leave the state. As communities disperse and form elsewhere, so too do employment and labor needed for making movies and film. David Graves, a political director with a union from Hollywood, explained to California Insider's Siamak Karami the value of the film industry in California.
It's about a $100 billion a year industry, and we produce about $30 billion of payroll. So that's $30 billion of wages per year in California.
Graves says being able to tell the American story is what attracted him to the film industry. He started his career at 15 years old, volunteering at a PBS station doing news. From there, he was given opportunities and went up the ladder.
In general, I think that culture is always leads the way for politics. Politics is always behind culture. And so the interesting thing about the film industry is that it leads the way. It leads who we are, where we're going, where we've been. It tells our story. And so California is really the key to the American story.
But recently, Graves said the film industry has expanded outside of California, and with it are jobs.
If you look at states like Georgia, they've seen a 10% increase in overall production. Louisiana has seen an astounding increase between 2021 and 2022. They've seen about 130% increase in production. They went from about 45 productions, 50 productions in 2021 to like 140 in 2022.
Wow.
So a massive, massive increase for Louisiana. I consider Louisiana and Georgia to be our main competitors when it comes to film production.
He says the reason is complex, but a big reason is the exodus, where people have been leaving due to high taxes, cost of living, government regulations, and more.
Then you have Georgia and Louisiana, and now they're benefiting from California-trained professionals who are now over there. And what that does is it makes, if I'm a producer, the biggest thing keeping me in California is infrastructure and labor. And so if there's infrastructure and labor in that incentive state, I'm going to go there and work. I'm going to go produce a movie there.
Graves explains that infrastructure and labor are the brick-and-mortar companies, like service companies, for the film industry. They provide trucks, equipment, payroll, insurances, all of which fall under the same regulatory issues other businesses face in California.
More and more work started going out there because the incentive structures really started attracting work. And so these brick and mortars had to move out there. They had to set up satellite companies or satellite offices. And once they got there, like, wait a minute, less taxes, less regulation, less EPA issues. Let's stay here. And so we saw a shift. So they actually started making the LA office the satellite office.
Wow.
Less labor in LA, more labor in the incentives.
He said California tends to overcomplicate things that could have been pretty simple.
To watch the full program, find California Insider on YouTube or Epic TV on the Epic Times website. Speaking of Hollywood, multiple popular TV shows from major networks and streaming platforms have already been put on pause. Writers now enter into the third month of an ongoing strike. Many businesses that depend on the robust entertainment industries are being affected.
A strike by Hollywood writers is now entering into its third month after members of the Writers Guild of America stopped working in demand for better pay and benefits. The ongoing strike has already affected various businesses that depend on Hollywood activity. Now, major networks and streaming platforms are having to put its TV shows on hold. On Netflix, popular shows like Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, and Big Mouth have been paused. HBO has halted work on its prequel series of the hit show Game of Thrones. Showtime has ceased work on Yellow Jackets, The Chi, and Billions. And Disney Plus has halted its work on its highly anticipated Marvel series Daredevil Born Again. Fox has also suspended work on its two popular shows, Family Guy and American Dad. Apple Plus, Paramount Plus, ABC, and CBS will also be halting various television shows. In addition to TV shows, several episodes of talk shows have been canceled, including Jimmy Kimmel Live, Late Night with Seth Meyers, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Negotiations between the Writers' Union and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers have been stalled since May. It is unclear when the current strike will come to an end, as no new talks have been scheduled between writers and major Hollywood studios.
In Chapman University's latest biannual economic forecast, the school is anticipating a moderate recession by 2024. Home prices and employment rates are among top issues facing a potential economic downturn. NTD spoke with an economic professor from the university to hear more. Home prices will fall by 11% in the next 6 months. That's according to forecasts by economic professor Jim Doty from Chapman University.
Mortgage rates gone up from typically on average around 3% to 7%. Dropped off a little bit since then to around 6.5%, but they're double what they were about a year ago. So mortgage rates are much higher, and that's led to dropping or declining home prices and much lower activity, and in particular problems in commercial real estate, particularly in office buildings and in retail space.
Doty says the local economy will likely sour along with the nation, potentially leading to a recession. He attributes the potential economic downturn to the Federal Reserve's boosting of interest rates.
The Federal Reserve Board, under the leadership of Jerome Powell, every time they've met, every 2 months or so, they've increased rates 25, even 50 basis points at a time, consistently, without fail.
As a result, people are reluctant to sell their homes after watching mortgage rates inch up to 6.8%, which contributes to the decline in home prices.
So sales activity is very low for two reasons. Not only is there low demand because of the high mortgage rates, but there's very low supply because people aren't selling their home. On the plus side, because there's not much in the market on the residential side, you have a situation where builders are beginning to build more residential units because they don't have to compete with the resale market anymore.
Chapman University economists say that the home values also are expected to drop significantly by 16% over last year's prices. The average home price at the same time last year in California was around $840,000. This year, the experts are predicting a median price of $710,000 by the end of the year. But Doty says if you need to buy a home, don't let current mortgage rates scare you.
If you could get a great deal on a home, I would advise if you need a home, buy it, but then you might want to refinance it in several years when mortgage backs recede a bit.
Now, Chapman University isn't alone. The latest economic forecast by the Woods Center for Economic Analysis and Forecasting at California State University, Fullerton, also anticipates a downturn later this year. And home prices aren't the only concern. These economic forecasts also predict a 1.3% drop in job growth in the state by December. Compared to last year, the state saw a 5.6% drop. While Chapman's experts are sticking to their prediction of a national recession, they're expecting the downturn to be moderate. Now let's check in with NTD's Tyler Castillo for your sports roundup.
Thank you. I'm Tyler Castillo, taking you through California Today's Sports Roundup.
Draymond Green has signed a new 4-year, $100 million contract with the Warriors. Draymond had the last year of his contract modified, where Green had the possibility to join free agency, but instead chose to reunite with the Warriors. The Warriors, with Draymond, won 4 championships. This puts more emphasis on the win-now mentality as the Warriors also acquired Chris Paul and traded away Jordan Poole last month. The Warriors are already getting ready for the new season by winning their summer game against the Hornets last night 98-83. Fernando Tatis Jr. had 3 hits, and San Diego drew 11 walks while completing a sweep over visiting Los Angeles. It is the first 3-game sweep of the season for the Padres. The Angels, who were swept by the Padres for the first time since 1999, have lost 7 of their past 8 games. With the sweep, the Padres matched their longest winning streak of the season at 3 games. Tatis doubled off Angels reliever Jacob Webb with 1 out at the score tied in the 7th, then eventually scored what would be the winning run on Xander Bogaerts' ground out to the pitcher. Despite giving up a lead early in the 7th, reliever Nick Martinez was credited with the win. Padres 5, Angels 3. Alex Cobb threw 6 shutout innings, and San Francisco took advantage of a drop fly ball by All-Star center fielder Julio Rodriguez for a run in a victory over visiting Seattle. Taylor Rogers and Tyler Rogers and Camilo Doval combined with Cobb on a 7-hitter, helping the Giants avoid a 3-game sweep while snapping a 4-game losing streak. Giants 2, Mariners 0. JD Martinez and David Peralta hit home runs in a span of 3 pitches, and Los Angeles hung on for a victory over visiting Pittsburgh. Martinez belted a 3-run home run in the 5th inning, and Peralta added a solo shot 1-batter later as the Dodgers came back from an early 4-0 deficit. LA rookie Bobby Miller gave up 4 runs on 5 hits over 5 2/3 innings. Dodgers 6, Pirates 4. Jordan Diaz had 3 hits including a homer, and 3 runs as Oakland pounded host Detroit, the 4th win in 5 games for the A's. A's starter Austin Pruitt retired all 9 batters he faced. Ken Waldichuk gave up 2 runs and 2 hits in 4 1/3 innings of relief. A's 12, Tigers 3.
I'm Tyler Castillo, and that was the Sports Roundup for today. Back to you.
Thanks, Tyler. All right, everyone, that's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ganjin World, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. If you'd like to share news tips or let us know how we're doing, we'd love to hear from you. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.